Yellowstone is known today for its beautiful landscapes, lush waterways, and abundant wildlife. But it wasn't always like that. Back in the 1940s, much of the park's streams were dried up, its floodplains eroded, and biodiversity was low. That began to change in the late 20th century, thanks in large part to an unlikely hero, the beaver. Between 1986 and 1999, more than 100 beavers were reintroduced into Yellowstone. Over time, their presence transformed the environment. But this story isn't just about beavers. It also involves wolves, elk, and a surprising plant, willows. Let's rewind. In the early 20th century, wolves were common in Yellowstone, but people viewed them as dangerous and wiped them out. Between 1915 and 1935, park records showed dozens of wolves were killed. By 1935, they were likely gone from the park entirely. Without wolves, elk population soared. More importantly, elk behavior changed. With no predators to fear, they settled in one place and overgrazed plants, especially willows. Willows are vital for beavers. They're used for food and dam building. Without them, beavers couldn't survive. By 1953, only 8 beaver colonies remained in Yellowstone, down from 25 in 1921. Meanwhile, beaver populations across North America had collapsed from about 60 million to just a few hundred due to overtrapping. With their numbers low and habitat degraded, Yellowstone's streams suffered. Erosion increased, vegetation disappeared, fish and bird populations declined, and rising water temperatures pushed out cold water species like salmon. In 1995, Yellowstone took a major step. 14 gay wolves were reintroduced from Canada, followed by 17 more in 1996. Almost immediately, elk behavior shifted. They began moving more and grazing less in one place. As a result, willows and other plants began to recover. But recovering wolves wasn't enough. The waterways still needed help, and that's where beavers came in. Starting in 1986, Yellowstone began reintroducing beavers from the nearby Gauladon National Forest. A total of 129 beavers were released. By 1996, 49 active colonies had formed. By 2007, the number had grown to 127. The beavers were thriving. Why do beavers matter so much? When they build dams, they create ponds that slow down streams. These ponds turn into wetlands, which support 70 to 80% of species at some point in their life. Dams also improve groundwater levels, filter pollutants, and create muddy willow-friendly shores. In short, beavers are ecosystem engineers. By 2018, willow cover along Blacktail Deer Creek had jumped from nearly nothing in 1995 to 43% on the west side and 93% on the east. Willows grew taller and thicker. These changes created ideal homes for countless species: salmon, otter, waterfowl, marsh birds, and even insects like mosquitoes. Of course, there were setbacks. In June 2022, Yellowstone saw historic flooding that destroyed many beaver dams and likely killed some beavers. And even today, some streams remain difficult places for beavers to settle due to past damage. But progress continues. So, who played the bigger role, wolves or beavers? The truth is, both were essential. Wolves changed elk behavior, which let plants rebound. Beavers built the structures that brought water and biodiversity back to life. Without one, the other couldn't have succeeded. Today, people are also helping. Scientists and conservationists build artificial beaver dams using sticks, mud, and willow branches. These mimic real dams and offer many of the same benefits, especially in places where beavers haven't yet returned. But nothing quite replaces the real thing. Beavers with their instinctive work ethic and remarkable engineering skills continue to shape Yellowstone in powerful ways.